Hi, I'm Allison Pryor. I'm a Newfoundland artist and art instructor, and I'm going to teach you how to blend the sky. And what I do is I use my flat brush. I find these really good. It's a Bristol brush, flat Bristol brush, and I use this to blend my skies. I find it really good, and I just repeat it myself, but that's okay. So today I'm just using some blue, and it can be any color blue. It could be light dark, it could be ultramarine, it could be phthalo blue. So I'm just going to put a line of blue across the top of my canvas, and that's all we need. We don't need any more than that. Just one line of blue across our canvas, because we're not going to clean our brush. We're just going to put some white on our paint, on our brush, and lots of it. Look, plenty. And we're going to go underneath that blue, and we're going to go back and forth. Back. See how the blue is mixing with the white, and that will give you a beautiful soft sky, and that way you won't have any streaks, and you can just keep coming down. As you can see, I masked it off from the horizon. So now today I'm just going to add some clouds. I'm going to show you how to make nice soft fluffy clouds the easy way. So I have a brush here that's just a round brush. It's Bristol. It's round, and I'm just going to put a little bit of white paint on top of my brush, and I'm just going to tap it off into the tissue so there's not too much paint on it. And then I'm just going to pick a spot on my canvas, and I'm going to touch, and then I'm going to start making these small circles. And as you make them, just move away from what you already made, and then go underneath what you already made. And if you go underneath, then you go back again. So just go back underneath the ones you already made there again. And then you go back down underneath there again, and you keep going until you run out of paint. And that way it'll start blending in with your sky, and you have a nice fluffy cloud. So we'll just keep going until we get no more paint on our brush. See that? And then a pretty little fluffy cloud. Just keep going, scrubbing it in. Scrub, 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 scrub. It's like a dry brushing technique. And you can go up and around, and you can make some wispy clouds off to the side, and you just keep going around circles until it all blends really, really nice. Look at that. That's a pretty fluffy sides. Make it nice and full of paint. And all you have to do is bring it up to your canvas and pick a spot that you want to start your trees. And you have it standing on a vertical chiseled edge, and all you do is tap in the trees, tap, 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 tap again with the tapping, and you come up and down. And I'm only using black paint for now. You come up and down, as long as you get those really nice little tops. See those tops up there? You get those tops, and you're going to have your trees. And then we're going to highlight them to make them look more like trees. So for the start, just touch and tap. Tap, 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 tap. And the fan brush makes really nice little fir trees here for you, just by going up and down. And we're going to go right across our canvas. I'm going to take my time so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. And now we put some more paint on our brush. Every time you need paint, just load up again, and then touch and tap and tap and tap, and close off these parts right here, because we'll highlight those. They look like trees. What we're mainly concerned about are those tops. See those tops? That's what we're mainly concerned about. That's what makes them look like trees. Okay, so we'll just keep going. Keep going over and over and over and over. And as you get closer to the center of your canvas, you make your trees smaller, because it'll make them look like they're going in the background. It's like they're going back. So here we go. Just tap, 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 tap. Tap and tap and tap and tap. Keep everything close together. Just make sure you got those tops. And as you're coming, see how it looks like it's going further back? Isn't that nice? So we'll continue right across our canvas, and as we get closer to the other side, then we can start going back up again. So we'll make it look like the trees are going in the back, and then they're coming out again. So just you watch. Just keep these trees nice little tops. You can go back over again just to get those tops. See those tops? That's your main concern. Fill up again. And now we're going to start coming up a little higher. There we go, just like the other side. Just keep tapping and tapping and tapping and tapping. Make sure you get those tops of your trees. There we go. Load up again and start tapping and tapping and tapping. See how I get those nice tops to my trees. Love the fan brush. Fan brush does so many things for you. You can make clouds of fan brushes. And after we do this, I'm going to show you how to put some water in. So keep tapping, tapping. Okay. Now we go up and down, up and down, up and down. We keep moving to the back. And as we're moving to the back, a little bit higher, because this side can be a bit higher than the other side, so it doesn't always have to be exactly the same. It will make the painting pretty boring anyway. So let's go way up and down. Tap, 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 up and down. And one more on the inside. Start at the bottom if you like on this side and go up. And start at the top or the bottom, whatever is comfortable for you. I'm left-handed, so you might be doing something a little different. You might start on the opposite side. But see that? Look, we got trees. Something need to be fixed, just give them a little tap on the top. So now what we need to do is we had a tape on to protect the bottom of our canvas. So now we take the tape off. Okay? Alright. I like to use the green painter's tape. It's a lot easier to work with than this one. Alright. See how pretty that is? Now in order to protect the rest of the canvas, because we're going to put something down here, probably waterfalls or something, I'm not sure yet, but right now we're going to protect all this down here by putting more tape on again. So every time you want to do a part of a painting in parts, just put on some tape. Protect it. So here we go. So some tape. Alright, so we'll decide how far down we want our water. So let's say we want our water to be our little pond or whatever you want to call it. Probably right here. I'm just make a guess. You don't have to be real particular. You just make a guess because this is your painting, so you do whatever you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put both sides of my paint. Blue paint is all I'm going to use for now. So we can do highlights and everything later. Just like we did with the trees. We did the black background. And then we highlighted with green. You can also put more highlights over it later if you like. Maybe we'll do that. Right now we're just going to do a little pond. And all you have to do, now this time, before we had the brush vertical, like that, to pounce and to punch. And tap, tap, tap. This time we're going to have horizontal. So it's horizontal is like this. And we're going to go across our canvas and just pull across. Pull, 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 pull. Don't have to be fussy. You can go back and forth like this just to make our water. And this brush will give you a nice texture that actually gives you more of a feel for water. If you did it with a flat brush, you'd probably just get like flat strokes. But see how this gives you a few waves. And if you let some of the canvas come through, you'll get a little bit of white coming through, and that will make it look like there's some little splashes or something. Well, we can add those after. Our main concern now is to get your water in. So you come up under those trees as carefully as you can. Okay, and just go back and forth. And I'm going to show you today how to do some rocks. So we're going to finish this painting soon, and today is going to be a day for your rocks. I'm going to put them all up here in the water. So all I did was I have this brush here. It's a sable brush, and it has a nice round top on it. It's filbert, and you can use this, or you can use a flat brush, which is a bristle brush. So you can use almost any brush for this, as long as it's small and flat, or even round. And all I'm doing is I'm just adding some black paint to my brush. And what I'm going to do is put just the bases in for the rock formations first, just so I can get some shapes to see what kind of shapes I want to have. And I find it easy if I put a line under here, and then I just make a round top on it, and then I fill it in. And then you get your shape of your rock, and then all you have to do is push out the front of it here. And look, you get a rock. Maybe you might want another rock in front of that one. So you just put another line and a hump and fill it in. See, you have these great little rocks just by doing that. I might put a little bit more here. And then you continue on doing that. So you put another rock over here, a line, a hump, fill it in, and out. Cool. And then if you want to make another rock in front of that one, make your line, another rock, fill it in, make a few little bumps coming out. It doesn't have to be real tidy right now. Bend over, and here we go. And there we go. Another nice little one. Let's make one even smaller than that. Let's make some little tiny ones right here. Little tiny. Boop. There we go. Maybe another one over here. Just a little tiny one in front of that one. Shape that one up a little bit. There's another little one right here. So just do your line if you want to put a line in. And then just push it up in the front here, like that. There we go. Maybe another one over here, in front of that one. There we go. Alright, see how they're cute little rocks? Maybe you might want to do one in here. I just want you to know I love you. That's a song that I wrote. You can hear it in the background there. I don't want to say I love you. Alright, so there we go. So you get all these little rocks wherever you want them. Maybe one right here. How to highlight these rocks that we put in the water here. And all I did was I put some white on my palette, and I'm using the same brush that I used to put the rocks on. And all I do is I pick the highest spot on the rock, like probably the middle, and then I'll just pull down, and then I'll just come down so far, and I'll just pull down a few more strokes, and I think that looks pretty good. So then we'll just take some more paint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of black because I find it a little bit too white. So I want more of a gray color. So let's use gray. So just add a little bit of black and a little bit of white together. And we'll make a nice little gray color. And then we will touch the top of the rock and then come down, pull forward. Okay, and touch top. Pull forward. See how I'm using my fan brush now so that we can put some nice water lines in here and highlight the water. And so all I'm doing is I'm adding blue and a bit of white because I don't want it too white. And I'm going to put some water lines in up here under the trees just to get that started. Just go across there like that. Good. And then you put one couple under here. Right, and just right underneath the rocks, just draw these lines with your fan brush. Okay, just top of your fan brush. I'm holding the fan brush just horizontal. So, horizontal, pull under the rocks, just under the rocks. Okay. Now, so put some more over here under these rocks. So under almost every rock that you see, put these water lines, okay? Make them light enough so you can see them. I hope you can, I'm not in your way or there's not too much shadow. Okay, so There we go. Now, you put some of this water, it looks pretty nice. So what you're going to do now is, you're going to put some blue paint and some white paint. Put more blue than white this time. And then just go into your water. And all you have to do is just go back and forth with your fan brush on this horizontal stroke, back and forth. Okay? And then all you're doing is you're cleaning up the water and making it nicer and thicker and better looking than what it was, and just a dull flat blue. We'll put some light in there in the middle so we can get some light from the sky. Now you can use a brush, a flat brush, to put your paint on. Now it depends on how big your canvas is. You can use this a 1-inch brush like this one here. It's just a regular house painting brush, and I like it. Works for me. So I'm just going to paint on the black underpainting to get it ready for our. We're going to put some white paint on our fan brush. So here's our fan brush and here's our white paint, and I'm just going one side to the other, and I'm loading up my brush, and then as you can see I got paint. So I'm doing exactly the same thing as I've already done. I'm going to touch, over, and down. See? And you just go right over that blue, and that blue will be your shadows. And then you touch, over, and down. Now don't worry that you have, because you don't want a big blob of white. You're better off getting it just in little pieces. So up, over, and down. Okay? And we can fix that. Don't worry about that, the way it looks there now. So let's try the other side again. So touch, that will give you a start, and over and down. Okay, so now I need to go back over here a little bit. Touch, over and down. Okay, starting to look good. I'm left-handed, so I find that a little bit of a hindrance because it's a bit awkward. But anyway, touch, over and down. Look at that, how pretty that is. Okay, and let's do another one. Touch, over and down. Alright, now we'll fix it up a little bit there now. So let's just go back over this a little bit here. Touch, over and down. And touch, over and down. You can hear the phone ringing, and I'm in here now, so hopefully it'll leave a message. Alright, here we go. Touch, over and down. Okay, so that's a pretty waterfall so far. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Alright, so we don't want to make it too much of a big white blob. Alright, so if you're happy with that, so you can just go over the top. Try not to go all the way down because you're going to end up with a big white blob. So just, there we go. That's not too bad at all. Don't worry about the bottom part here because that's going to be our foam. And this is all falling down. I mean, if you want to go back over it again a little bit, you don't want to, like I say, don't want a big white blob. You got to be very careful with that. So all it is touch, over and down. Touch, over and down. Touch, over and down. Touch, over and down. Okay? So that's nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of blue paint on our brush. I didn't even clean it. And a little bit of white also. It's just a bit of blue and white. You can see it's just all mixed together. And I'm just going to tap in some where the water fell down. And I'm just pushing really hard. Okay? And just push, 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 tap, 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 push, 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 push. When you get this rock wall done, you can also add some red and blue. Just come down around the end of the waterfall there. You don't want to, we want to know where we're going, so we'll just follow the rock wall. I'm just going to put a few highlights there. That's only a little bit of white on top of the brown I just put there, just to lighten it up. And I'm also going to take a little bit of red and mix it with the brown. So I take the brown and mix some red in there, give it a reddish color and a reddish brown. I like that color. And I'm just going to dab it in here and there. Okay. Just dab it in, dab a dab a doodle dab will do ya. See, I just put blue on one side of the brush, and I got white on the other side. I just kind of like to do it that way. That way you got your mixes happening all at one time. So I'm just going back and forth, just with my fan brush, just back and forth, and wave it a little bit. That way you get a few little waves. And that's all I'm doing, just for the bottom part. So blue on one side and white on the other, and away we go. There we go. Now, you keep doing that until you're happy, okay? Just keep going back and forth until you're happy with your water, okay? See? It's so simple. You just keep working at it until you're happy with your water. So go from one end to the other, even though we're going to put a few rocks in there. So we'll just keep going back and forth. If we got too much white, just put blue on this time. See? Don't have to be fussy. So there we go, back and forth with our hand brush. I got horizontal strokes going on. The brush is horizontal. Okay. Isn't that nice? So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave that like that. And then what I'm going to show you is I'm going to just clean off my brush a little bit, just a bit of tissue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put white on my fan brush, white, and I'm just going to tap on top of this splash. I'm just going to leave the bottom part of it for now. Just tap on the top of it just to give it a little extra boost. Okay? And I'm just using the corner of the brush actually, and I'm pushing a little hard. Alright, and bang, 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 bang. Up, 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 up. Fan brush, you can move your brush around and give you some more paint just jumping up, and it looks like it's probably just jumping up because it might have been a big splash. Okay, and whatever's left on your brush, just tap down around the bottom because we still want to keep some shadows going on there. Okay, it looks pretty good. Good, nice. Now I'm going to show you how to do some more rocks because the couple of videos I did were really dark and you probably couldn't see them. So I'm going to do a couple down here just so that you can get an idea what I did with the rocks. So all I did was, like I said, I took black paint on my little flat brush and I just made a line. Just make a line to give you a guide to your rock, and I just made a big old hump on it. Okay, and then you fill it in. Yeah, that's the song I wrote in the background there. It's off my hubby, called I'll Miss You When You're Gone. Okay, enough promoting my music. Okay, now pull that out a little bit and then just make another little bit of a hump there so you can have more shape to your rock. See? So you just pull it out, that's all you do really. You can have all kinds of shapes to rocks. I kind of like doing it this way. So let's do another one down here where it's really dark. And pull up the big bump, fill it in. There we go, and just pull it forward. Okay? Alrighty then. So, a couple rocks there. Maybe we had a big old flat one right here. So you can just pull in some black. You don't even have to make your line. Just pull it in. Just pull it in. It's okay to be a bit messy here. Just pull in this big old black spot there. Just pull it in. Okay. Maybe I have another one up here. So just make your line. Put a big bump on it. Okay. And then pull forward. Alright then. And you can have some small rocks, and you can have some in between. Maybe one right here. There we go. See? There we go. So you got rocks everywhere. Got rocks in my head. Okay, so let's just put that rock here. Pull it back a little bit if you want. Up a little bit, you know, shadow it in. We'll straighten them out then when we highlight. The highlighting is what brings the rocks brings the rocks around. Gives you the shapes. Maybe there's another one right here. Okay, so you just shape it up by pulling out on the back and pulling out on the front. Alright, there we go. Okay, maybe we'll have a little tiny one right here. You can make small ones and big ones. Okay, and then pull out, out, the back. Alright, now that's that. I just want to show you one little trick. You put black on one side of your small flat brush and white on the other side, and then you can make your hump. My hands are, let's make one up here. You touch and up and over, and you get a cute little rock already highlighted for you. So just make your little hump and just straighten it up on the bottom, and you get rocks that are already done for you. So black on one side of your brush, white on the other, and then you got your rocks already done. Okay, that's a little trick. I'll show you that again later when I'm doing another painting. That's a cute little trick. And you can do I got lots of tricks up my sleeve that I've learned from other artists. I'm not going to say that I'm this brilliant and I made all this up myself. That's what I've learned from other artists, excellent artists. Okay, now what I'm going to do for highlighting the rock is I'm just going to go to the highest point, like I said before, and pull forward. Okay, I better make it a bit lighter because I don't know how dark these videos are until I get them uploaded. Okay, so just bring it forward. Start at the highest point for this one down here, pull forward. Okay, maybe there's let's just pretend there's one in here. Okay, so just pull it forward. Maybe there's one here. That's the dark one we made, so we'll just go to highest point. Alright, maybe there's something back here, so we'll just scrub on a little bit of leftover paint. Alright, there we go. We'll fix them, we'll cover them up with some nice colors after. Just pull forward, highest point, pull forward. Highest point, pull forward, pull forward, pull back, well forward, because we're going to pretend that the light is coming this side like we said before, and so it's lightening up the backs of these rocks here. Let's go back, here we go. Alrighty then. Alright, so that's a bit light there, so if you don't like it, just go back over with some dark colors. Okay. Alright, so that will give you, maybe there's one right here. If you go to the highest point and pull back, then you can shape your rocks up, and then you can just squiggle on a bit more after. Just whatever is left over on your brush. Okay, so we'll pretend this is the highest point, pull back. Alright. Okay, now, maybe there's one here. Just find the highest point, pull. If you don't like it, it's pretty simple to fix. Just go back in with black paint and say, okay, I don't like that, so I'll just take it out. Okay, straighten it up. That's the simplest way to do things. Just go back in again. See, I don't like that because I'll just mix that together. I'm getting a pretty good rock just by doing that, see? Okay, so now, if you want to, you can add a little bit of reddish color to some of those rocks. Okay, and that will give you a nice little highlight. And then we're going to finish this painting once and for all. So I want to show you lots more stuff. Okay, so I'm going to mix the red and the brown together. Okay, it could be, like I said, it was burnt umber, and you can use any red, doesn't matter, as long as you make your brown a little bit red, and then you can highlight some of the, add a bit of white. See? I didn't realize that till I was putting it on. See that? See how nice that's coming out there now? Hope my hair is not in the way. Okay. Now, okay, so brown. There we go. Just scrape that on. You don't have to be fussy. Just scrape it on because, you know, rocks are not the neatest things in the world, right? So just scrape some of that on there. And a little bit of highlight here, a little bit of highlight there. highlight here, highlight there. And you can do as much as you want. You be the judge. Okay? Now, what we're going to do now is go back to our fan brush, and we're just going to put some water lines underneath these here. Okay, like I said, I'm sitting in an awkward position, so it's hard for me to keep a steady hand. If I stand up, I'm in the way of the camera. Alright then, so I'm going to try. It's a little difficult for me. I got my brush vertical. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you how to do water lines. Oh my god. If you follow this, I don't know. Those water lines are a bit too thick for me. So I'm just trying to get some little thin ones in there. So with your fan brush, just go underneath your rocks and put your little water lines. There we go. A little bit of a light hand might help. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I probably had too much paint on my brush. So it's good. I don't mind making mistakes or doing something wrong, or and making up excuses about how I'm not sitting in the right position. So, alright then. So I'm just going to leave that there. And whatever's left over on my brush, I'm going to just scrape that on there just to let's give it a little bit more water lines, a little more highlight on the water, and that's it. And then I'm just going to make it look like the water is coming here, but we got to put some more water here. So just put some more water up here so that it looks like it's coming over. It's coming from back here somewhere, and then we'll get that in here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some blue on one side and white on the other so that I can get not too much white. I want to make it look like nice water. Okay, so it takes a few tries. I mean, it's good that you can see me struggling, because I know you're struggling and everybody is struggling with paintings. They're not that simple. Sometimes you see some artists on there and they're just flicking everything on there. It looks great. It looks easy. And like, how come I can't do that? Because you need to keep going over and over things and getting it the way you like it. So don't freak out. Don't think, oh, I can't do that. You just keep getting the, like right now I'm just making a mess here, right? But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying and trying and trying until I get it the way I like it. Okay? That's what painting's all about. Having fun, experimenting. Alright, so just keep so when you're working on, hopefully you're working on this painting. So you know what, I'd like to see if anybody had actually finished this painting. I'd like to see it. You know, you can email me a picture of your painting. It'd be great to, you know, to see what you did, see if I was any help to you at all. Okay, so I'm just going to put some blue on one side and white on the other so I can go up here. Alright, and if you got any questions, or you had a hard time with any of these videos, or if you have any questions, you can always email me, and I'll help you out as best I can. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth with my, just getting this down and make it look more like it's part of the waterfalls, because one lady said to me one time when I was teaching her waterfalls, and I don't think I did the top or something, and she said, well, where's the water coming from? She couldn't figure out where the water was coming from. So ever since then I said, oh, okay, I better make sure I have the water looking like it's all part of one. Alright, so I'm just going to let that, because I don't think I got enough time on my camera to keep this going. So just keep going over it and over it and over it and over it until you're happy. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish this up here now, and what I'm going to do is, I lost some of my waterfalls here, so I'm just going to go back over that and down. Remember? Touch, over, and down. Okay? Touch, over, and down. Touch, over, and down. Touch, over, and down. That's just to get it to look. And then pull in some of this water here. Alright. Okay, still not, you know, I like to do more with it, but I don't think I have enough time on this video, and I want to finish it up so that you can, so we can get on to something else. Okay, there we go. Alrighty then, I just want to let that go there now. Hard to let go though, isn't it? I just could do this all day long, which I do. Spend a fair time at it because I want to be able to teach some really nice things. Okay, so like I said, I could I'll probably finish it and send you a picture, but right now this is going to be finished, and I'm going to just, oops, I'm just going to lift it up a little bit for you so you can see the whole works. See, that's the whole painting. Alright then, there we go. So this is Allison Pryor signing off until the next time.